Today I'll be taking you guys through my final policy review for minimizing light pollution. So just a quick review of my environmental issue. Light pollution is present in urban areas. It affects birds, sea turtles, animal hunting patterns, plant development, and it also increases smog. So just a review of my policy solution. First, I would switch all city-owned lighting to LEDs. I would then shield all city-owned lighting downward. Um, Next, I would restrict lighting to businesses that are closed at night. So if they aren't open, they aren't able to light their buildings or their signs, things like that. Also, in low use areas, I would implement motion lighting. And finally, large buildings like convention centers, arenas are only allowed to be lit when they're in use. So just a review of my benefit cost analysis. This was based on New York City, but as you can see, the benefits do outweigh the costs. Some of them are kind of difficult to monetize, but I think if we could, the benefits would even more outweigh the costs. So after reviewing my policy throughout the semester, I've decided I wanted to make some policy improvements. These are just basics. I'll go into more detail on them, but I want to make some incentives for businesses. I want to set citation prices and address my material balance issues. So first, incentives for businesses. I think something that could be addressed or improved would be um, kind of making an incentive for businesses to switch their own lights to LEDs and to shield their own lighting. So I think we could do this by recognizing these businesses if we see them doing that, or create some kind of program where they could do this and we could give them some kind of recognition or award. Um, and I think that's pretty important in this day and age, especially with, I think consumers are really mindful of who they're buying from. If they're um, an environmentally friendly company. And then also, if you guys remember, I had citations for the businesses that were lighting their businesses at night. So if they had their structures lit, they would incur a fine that was enforced by the police. But I also wanted to create a positive incentive for this. So if they didn't receive a citation all year long, I think it'd be a great idea to give them $1,000 bonus. Um, I know $1,000 isn't a ton, but I think for small to medium-sized businesses, it's a great incentive for them. And then next, I wanted to get a little more specific with my citation pricing. So for the first violation of businesses that lit their structures at night would be $50. The second would be $100, and then the third and subsequent violations would be $200. Um, just kind of reading through the book, it's important to really analyze what you're citing them, the amount that you're citing them for. So if you set it too low, um, businesses won't comply. They don't think it's worth their time. But if you set it too high, the courts and the police force will be reluctant to enforce these violations. So that's why I stated a steady $200. It's not a ton, but if they continue to light their businesses at night, this $200 will start to add up. And then finally, handling my material balance issues. So replacing all these LED lights and shields will create a lot of waste. So I think it's really important that we create a recycling program for this. If not, I think a lot of these old lights or old shields will end up hurting the environment in some other aspect. So maybe going just to like waste areas or things like that going into the ground or maybe the water. So having this recycling program could prevent that. And here's just why I think this policy will work. First and foremost, the benefits are outweighing the costs. Um, I also think I have a good system set up with it being a policy that should be specific to each city and keep it centralized in that city. And then finally, the policy type. I have two standards working in the policy. It's a technology and design standard. So this is a new technology by replacing city lights with LEDs and the new shields. And then also emission standard by restricting business lighting. I'm restricting the amount of light that they're emitting. And I believe that this policy, with the improvements that I made, could be effective in any area that is dealing with light pollution.